and how they were scaring clients basically that wanted to claim things from them because they got breached, and they said, "Oh, well, you didn't actually have MFA in place." So and then we got to talking about doing videos and whether or not videos are a good thing and marketing with videos. It kind of comes back to that same message of like, is it important that people know that their businesses could be taken down by a cyber breach because they don't have the right coverage in place? They don't have coverage at all. They don't have MFA when they said they did. There's so many different situations, but the whole reason we started talking about video is because you're trying to help people with situations like that, right?
And that is correct. I am concerned. Travel is one of the largest commercial insurance companies in the country. So they are a leader naturally in the cyber insurance. And then a year, 2 years ago, they started saying people needed to have MFA, and people were at least good enough to say, sure, I do.
Yeah, just check
Um,
the box, right? I mean,
but
that means you
and
have it.
yes, and that maybe you need to have it both ways. You need to have MFA not only just for your email, which is much simpler to put into place, but you also have to have it and use it for remote access. And in this
Well,
lawsuit, that's what
right. I
happened.
mean, the whole thing that they're worried about is just, I don't know, random people, whoever it is that's trying to do crime, that are trying to log into your things. And when they log into your things, they take information like bank accounts or people's personal information or whatever it is. And I mean, guessing somebody's password can be easy for a computer algorithm or, just by picking something that's common. But I mean, it's simple. It's just putting something in place that stops people from being able to pretend to be you, whether, to log into your stuff as you. And MFA is the easiest way. I mean, we were talking a little bit earlier before we started recording this about whether small businesses could even do like monitor whether they had MFA, monitor all their security and things like that. But MFA being the starting point for everybody, it seems pretty obvious. But I guess the
So
article that I was reading on Travelers was like all they had was MFA on their firewall, and that was it, right?
yeah, there was just one aspect of it. They didn't have MFA on both levels. Um, I've tried to explain. So now as to my age, but when I was growing up and first married, um, we never locked the car, never took the keys out of the car. Car stayed in the driveway all night with the keys in it, and having to make that transition, and the doors were unlocked. But now in life, you don't leave the keys in your car. You take them out, you lock the car, and generally you lock your doors.
Yeah.
Um, that was a tough habit to establish, but no one can argue that that was a bad habit. And
Right.
that's where the MFA and our habits around our computers have got to change too.
Yeah. And I hate to bring up a sore subject, but it kind of thought made me think about Hollywood Fire Department this weekend, right? Like,
Oh gosh.
I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, like we live in this community where me and my wife were just talking about it. And, as kids of the fair at Ridge or the fair at Hollywood or wherever it was in the community, St. Mary's County, like we could just drop our kid, we would just get dropped off, right? And
Yes.
they'd be like, oh, go have fun.
Yes.
Now there's 16-year-olds getting shot at the thing. Like, I mean, it's not that it's that I'm not trying to like bring it up as like a fear factor, but it's just evidence that things have changed and we've got to do something about it and be proactive about making sure that we don't get
I,
hurt, you
it,
know?
it, I agree. I agree. I mean, there's so many different issues about that. We have to change our habits. Um, I made the comment with my wife just saying, I mean, Hollywood is in a unique position where maybe they need to publicize that there are cameras at both the entrance and the exit, and every vehicle coming and going is going to be recorded. Period. You can't come
Yeah.
anonymously onto the Hollywood parking lot and carnival grounds, and that there'll be cameras on the carnival grounds too. Um, it's
Yeah.
there's so many things to our lives that are changing, and our habits have to change along with that.
Yeah. And it is unfortunate that we have to change in a inconvenient way, let's say. And like MFA is not exactly as easy as just typing in my dog's name at my birthday, exclamation point, enter. But
Yeah,
it can be pretty easy. But it comes back to, like, I heard there was a sign at the Hollywood Fair, that there wasn't supposed to be anything but surgical masks. But yet there were kids running around just wearing, like different cloth masks, like gang wise or whatever. And these are all hearsay things, of course, but um it's just the fact that the community was kind of okay with that, and like as the people were running around, those people were not like removed from the grounds, and they were. I think, as I gave an example of when we were kids, like if we'd have ran around with masks on, we'd have been pulled over by an adult and told to take the mask off, right? I
yeah,
mean, I get that that's a pandemic thing, but hey, there's a reason why it was safer back then. It's because everybody gave a crap, and it's the truth.
it's again, it is we have to adapt to the way life is going.
Yeah,
And we over the last 3 years, we really are in a tough situation. Life is changing so fast. It's been difficult for us to change our habits and adjust to it. Um, and the Hollywood Carnival hopefully will come up with some compromises so they can keep it going.
yeah,
Uh,
I think they will.
but as opposed to just shutting down and saying we're not going to do this anymore. Um, it's the last. So as an organization, they were forward thinking enough to be able to find their own property, to invest in their own rides, um, create and build a place where it was possible to park a lot of cars, so it was off a road and it was safe. Um, and so now this will be a challenge. Are they able to adjust to do this? Um, Again, not to get too far, it's the same way with our businesses.
Yeah,
Can you make the adjustments, however inconvenient it may seem at the time, so that you can keep all your data safe, um, and keep going.
yeah, and data is, I think a lot of us look at it as data. Maybe a even better way to look at it is the clients. I mean, it's their data, it's their identity, it's their information. So it is our clients that we're trying to keep safe as an organization by sort of, protecting from the criminals getting in there and accessing their information. So
Mhm.
just like the people at Hollywood are going to have to figure out how to keep all of the people that come to that event and that those grounds safe. That's what we're doing in a business if we get better cybersecurity and better insurance, because of course there is no way to really keep everything from happening, because there still can be accidents. There still can be, the bad egg that comes in and tries to do something bad that gets around all the security. But that's what you do, Jay, is kind of provide those things for businesses, is that safety net. But we really don't want that to happen in the first place. We don't really want an insurance agency to have to pay out anything, you know?
It's similar to homeowners insurance. I mean,
Yeah.
not every one of us is going to have a fire, and not every one of us is going to have to make a claim. But certainly we do things at our home to put them off. I mean, we have smoke detectors. Um, we keep it locked. We replace our roof shingles. Um, we do things around our homes to avoid having to make a claim or to have a problem. And it's the same way with our businesses and our data. Our electronic data has become just a critical part of nearly every business out there. and we have to go to some effort to protect it.
Right.
And that's what the MFA is. And then the insurance company and says, but even for, there will be some people who have done all of this who will also have a problem. And those are the ones the insurance companies will come forward to and say, hey, you did the best you could. Now we will pay the claim and take care of you.
Right. Right. And they're going to have the money to do it, because if they're requiring all that stuff of all their other people, they're not going to be going out of business because they get too many claims and don't have any more money left. I mean, that would be like what, car insurance, giving everybody insurance and not requiring there be brakes in any vehicles. Right? Like, okay, how long do you think that car insurance company would be around?
Right. Yeah. Not long at all.